Hi, YouTube. My audience is on TikTok. That's why you'll only see that side of my face. So, hi, Melissa. You've been here lots of times, I'm pretty sure. Shovely Joe, I don't recognize that name. Anyway, while we're waiting, I usually wait till I get about 100 people in here and then we'll get going. But in the meantime, I'd love to know where you're from. Hi, Taylor, Snowy Dog, Zero, Candace. So I'm just looking at your handles. Okay, so where are you from? I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. I went to the gym early this morning, 6:59 a.m. It opens at 7. I thought I'm going to open up this gym. There was a huge lineup. So very busy gym. So I didn't beat the crowds and I worked out really hard. So I'm very sore right now. I don't know why. It just caught up with me this morning. So if I look really tired, I'm just really achy from the gym. I pushed myself all week. Edinburgh, Scotland. What's his name? Nicholas Fairford. He's on YouTube, and I think he's from Edinburgh. Is that different from Edinburgh? Is that the same? I think Nicholas. What's his name? I just love him. He's so relaxing, and he just seems like a really sweet guy. Anyway, I watch him. He's from Scotland. I don't know if he's from there, but Nottingham. Hi, Nottingham, UK. No, it's the same place. Why is it Edinburgh? Okay, Nicholas. I don't know any, I mean, I'm not pushing him or anything. I'm just saying if you're interested in really relaxing, he loves things that are really classy and posh and all that, but he's a really sweet guy. I'm not into any of that classy posh stuff, but he's just so sweet and very relaxing. His name's Nicholas Fairford and he's in Edinburgh. I just love his channel on YouTube. So a little shout out for him. I don't usually do that, but I just love his channel. Okay. Edinburgh. Okay, I know I'm saying it wrong. Sorry about that, but pretty sure he's from there. Maldives. Hello, Maldives. I don't even know where that is. Maldives. Where is that? Get there from Vancouver, it says. Ooh. Just looking it up. Sorry. Wow. Oh, wow. That's a long way away. Tiny. I'm sure it's gorgeous there, right? Poland. Hi, Poland. Hi, Zoo from Poland. A lot of different people. I'm not usually on at this time. What time is it? It's 2:20. Not usually on at this time, so I always get interesting crowds. I try and mix it up. I try and come on at different times because I get different time zones in that. You can visit here. Yeah. Maldives. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know much about it. I'm gonna look it up later. I often do that after a live. I'll look up these places that I've Googled. So I'm just learning a lot about the world. I'm not much of a traveler. I did a lot of traveling when I was young. I've got a lot of allergies and I can't imagine surviving. Like I need to be near an emergency room. I've got so many allergies. Like I rarely eat in restaurants or anything. So I can't imagine going to foreign countries and trying to survive, with all my allergies, food allergies. So that's why that's really one of the main reasons I don't travel anymore. It's just too dangerous for me. As long as I'm near an emergency room, I'm okay. Maine. Hi, Maine. I can travel in the States because you can understand me when I talk about allergies. And I always lose a ton of weight when I go away because I can barely eat anything because I'm so terrified of having an attack. Ireland. Hi, Ireland. I always thought that I was half Irish because I was told that growing up because I'm adopted. Turns out I'm not Irish at all. So St. Patty's Day, I used to say, a little bit of the Irish in me. I got no Irish in me. I'm Norwegian and French. I thought I was Irish and French. It's interesting. They could have told me I was anything. Alien from outer space. Oh, there you go. I would have bought anything. Windy, England. Hi, Windy, England. Okay, so let's get going. How many people? We've only got 72 people here. So hi, Texas. I keep saying I want to get to Texas one day. Texas is calling to me. I don't know why. Just been screaming my name. It's just like I really want to go there for some reason. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. If you go in the link above there, you'll see everything I've got to offer. Hi, Virginia. Amy, Virginia. Is that Amy in Virginia, or is that Amy? Is that a city? Anyway, if you go on my link above, it's got everything in there that I've got to offer. Free behavior board. You can buy one of my courses or hire me for coaching one-on-one. Romania. Hi, Romania. Victoria, BC, neighbor. I'm in Vancouver, BC. Okay, I'm really tired. I'm just putting that out there. I've been pushing myself really hard at the gym lately, and it caught up with me today. I can feel all my muscles. I was trying to do sit-ups today, and my legs were twitching at the gym. I thought, oh, I've overdone it. So if I look tired, it's because I've just pushed my body too hard. So I'm going to try and relax this afternoon. Okay. Let's get going with your parenting questions. I hit every so often, you get a video that takes off, and then some newspapers or whatever website. So the one that took off recently that got a lot of attention online was, what video was that? Oh, How Toddlers Are Crazy. And I was hoping that one would take off. The reason is, I didn't keep it. Anyway, some big publication took off with that. The reason why I really want to get that point across that toddlers are crazy is that parents are beating themselves up over their toddlers' crazy behavior. They're just forming. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They're not so much crazy, but they just haven't developed sane yet. So it's not you, it's them. They're just forming. By the time they're 3 to 4 years old, their behavior is kind of more on you. But under that, they're just toddlers. They're just learning. Okay, so parenting questions. Hi, am here. Hi, Trudy, you're here. Okay, parenting questions. I have a child with autism, and he has many episodes of nerves. He gets angry often and quickly. Yeah, autism is more of a specialty. I deal with that in one-on-one private coaching. If you're interested in working with me, you go in the link above, and I can talk to you about that. How to redirect hitting. If they're 3 and over, you just put no hitting on the behavior board, and every time they hit, there's a consequence. They only learn through consequences, just like we do. Let's say you speed all the time and you were pulled over by a cop, and he says, can you please not speed anymore because it's not very nice? Would you keep speeding? Probably. Would you keep speeding if you thought you'd get a ticket every single time? Probably not. It's the same thing. We all learn best through consequences. Okay. So yeah. If they're under 3, it's consistent corrective action. If they're under 3, I actually have a course on that called Toddlers Who Hit, etc. It's up above in the link in my bio. Okay, triplet mom. I've worked with triplets, actually. 3-year-olds, how to enforce timeout. I hate timeout. I hate timeout. Can't stand it. I think it's mean. It's demeaning. It's humiliating. I can't stand it. So yeah, just everything. I teach what to do instead of it. So everything I talk about instead of timeout is what I do. If I talk about it, that's what I do. Yeah, I hate timeout. I think it's humiliating. 2-year-old laughs at discipline. No, it's not laughter. It's testing you. It's just, they seem like they're laughing, but watch them. They're not really laughing. Yeah, they're just, so who cares how they react? If you're disciplining them, just follow through and then just ignore their reaction. That's okay. They can react however they want. That's like when parents discipline and the kids say, I hate you, and they say, what should I say to that? And I go, why would you respond to that? Just ignore it. Just go, whatever. Like, you don't buy into that stuff. What's the best way to regulate emotions of parents? That's kind of, I can't answer that. That's up to you. You're adults. You've got to learn how to regulate your own emotions. I can't help you with that. Yeah, that's up to you. You have to learn. If you can't learn how to regulate your own emotions, the best way to do that actually with parenting is to just start following something that you believe in. Like, eventually down the road, your kids will start to respect you if you're following my methods, and then your emotions with parenting will sort of regulate themselves. You can't regulate emotions when you don't know what the heck you're doing, right? Makes sense, right? It's chaotic, it's frustrating, it makes you angry. But once you pick a path and you know where you're headed, then you can regulate your own emotions. But yeah, I can't regulate them for you. That's up to you. You have to make a choice. Like, get a plan. I'm trying to have my 5-year-old participate in picking up toys, but she resists advice. Have a toy rotation system going first of all, so there's not that many toys out at any given time, so it's not a big ask. And then just say at the end of the day, by 8 o'clock every night, you have to pick up all your toys. That is her rule. But if it's a toy rotation system, then it's a fair and reasonable expectation. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's a fair and reasonable expectation for them to pick up all their toys. If it's a chaotic, cluttered environment, I don't think that's fair. So yeah, say there's only like 10 toys out or whatever. So by 8 o'clock every single night, that's your chore. You have to pick up all your toys. If she doesn't, then there's a consequence. Some of those toys might go away, or she has to do some extra chores or something. Remember, we all learn accountability through consequences. It's the way we're all like, that's why would we ever pay rent or our mortgage if we knew that we would never have to? Like, there's a consequence. You're going to get kicked out. Your home's going to be foreclosed on you. There's a consequence to everything in life. You don't do your job, you're going to get fired. It's like that with kids too. They don't just ask. Like, a cop doesn't just, can you please not speed anymore? It's ridiculous. They give you a ticket if you speed. So yeah, it's all about consequences. Sorry, I know I'm really tired today. I've been pushing myself really hard at the gym all week, and it just caught up with me today. I'm drained. So my whole body, I was at the gym earlier and I was trying to do sit-ups and my legs were twitching. I thought, yeah, maybe I've done too much this week. So that's why I look really tired. I'm not sad or tired. I wore myself out of the gym. I've done it a million times. You think I'd learn, but no, don't learn. I need to know how old your kids are when you ask a question. It helps. Okay. My 9-year-old constantly lies. What do I do? Oh, easy one. Just use my behavior board. It's free up in my bio there. And the behavior board's completely free. And you put down no lying. And every time he lies, there's a consequence. We all learn through consequences. So kids are no different from us. They learn through consequences. Toddlers don't. There's a consistent corrective action. It's right in the moment, though. With the behavior board, that's like, okay, you go to the behavior board. It's not like instant. It's. My son will attack me daily. How do you protect me? Well, I don't know how old your kid is and what's going on there. You have to tell me more. Yeah, you give me more information. I might have something. Bum, 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 bum. And if you're going to put an age down, put the whole question, then the age, because I can't really go back and find the original question. Well, there's not that many people here today, actually. I might be able to. Sometimes the biggest amount of people I ever had in a live, and one live in a live was 26,000 people, and I had just started doing lives, and 26,000 people. The questions were flying, and I was brand new at doing lives. Talk about stressful. Anyway, it was fun. 3-year-old very picky eater. I've got a whole bunch to say on that, but I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't tend to talk about that a lot. But I'll tell you what I did with my kids. Okay, so I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you what I did with my kids. I'm very into health food, and we didn't have junk in the house. So my kids had two choices. You can have this healthy food or that healthy food. And when they'd go to birthday parties, they would eat whatever. I said, have at it, eat whatever you want. They always came home with a stomach ache. And then they talk about all the sugar and all the icing and all this stuff all over everything. And so yeah, they had their taste buds were sort of developed by me because they only had healthy stuff. So they were very picky eaters, but they only ate healthy stuff. So doesn't matter if they're picky if they only eat healthy stuff. Plus they had to eat 3 vegetables at every dinner. That was just the rule. And I knew what vegetables they liked, so I cooked around their preferences. I don't believe I'm pushing food on kids if they really hate it. Like I would never push olives or avocados on or onions on little kids, because they tend to be foods that often a lot of little kids don't like because their taste buds are very fragile. Like they're really, really sensitive. So yeah, just have healthy food in the house. They tend to be pickier if they think there's potato chips or ice cream waiting for them down the road. See what I mean? My kids never had that. So they knew that, yeah, this is it. My 6-year-old will stomp and throw things even after taking things away or timeout. I hate timeout. I can't stand it. Anyway, what do I do? So what if they have it? So you mean they don't like hearing the word no? So that's on them. That's none of your business. Let them process that on their own. So what? Who cares how they react? You do the right thing. You're being fair and reasonable. You say, no, you can't watch TV till midnight tonight. And then they kick and stomp. I'd go, whatever. And then I'd just walk away and go about my business. You're reacting to that. That gives them power. The fact that that bothers you is their power. Whereas I would just go, good luck with that one. Oh, this is the one that attacks you. You're going to have to hire me for that. That's not a TikTok answer. You're going to have to hire me for that. I specialize in teenagers, actually. I started my whole business with teenagers, and then I went on TikTok a year and a half ago, and my whole business shifted. Now, a lot of young children now. But I had a reputation of working mainly with older kids and teenagers. But the little ones, they're easy because the problems are little, right? The bigger they get, the bigger the problems. My favorite age is teenagers. Not just to work with, but they were my favorite age with my kids too. Okay. So if he's breaking things, I should ignore. 6-year-old and stumping. You prevent violence. So if they're hurting themselves or other people or damaging property, you physically restrain them. But he's totally in control. He knows it. If he's smashing things and he's screaming, you've let it go for so long now. At 6 years old, he's got a lot more power. If you want my help, you might want to hire me for that. We have to erase some of that stuff. It gets harder to manage that. The longer they've been in charge, the harder it is to change it. But it's doable. I mean, I specialize in teenagers who are in charge. But yeah, you always physically restrain when they get physically violent. But as they get older, it gets harder to do. Like, I don't recommend that when they're 9. But when they're 6, if they're not that big, and you can physically restrain them from smashing things, then yeah, you still don't talk to them though. You don't look at them or talk to them. You just say no. Hi, Oklahoma. Do 17-month-olds understand they are hurting people when they pinch and hit? What do you think, Vicki? What's your guess? Do you think they really understand that? Yeah. What would be your guess? I'm just curious what you might think. No, that's exactly right. They don't get it. So yeah, it's up to you to teach that to them. And they're still not going to understand why not to do it. They'll just know not to do it. So it's consistent corrective actions when they're little. So every single time they hit, you say no. When you remove a toy, remove them, whatever. They learn through repetition. They don't really understand it, but they just learn that maybe I should stop doing it because there's a consistent corrective action every single time. Yeah. 4-year-old, when we're at friend's house, he's so happy. He's being naughty and silly, running, laughing, etc. I don't know if that's gone into the cheeky zone or if he's just so hyped up because he's excited. I don't know which that is, so I can't really. I would need to assess that situation. If you're asking about it, chances are he's being naughty. Am I correct? So yeah, you just want to set yourself up as a leader, and that stuff just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. He's excited. Yeah, he's 4 years old. He might just be really. Do you know what I would do if you were going to take him out or have other people around? I would probably take him to the park and run around with him first. Burn off some of that energy first. Like when we took our kids out for dinner, or if I was taking them somewhere where I wanted them to be quieter, they weren't hyperactive kids anyway. But I would probably take them to the park on the way there, wear them out a little bit. So by the time we got there, they'd sit quite quietly and have dinner. Like they were just like zoned out because I just had them running around the park for an hour, right? So you got to meet their needs, right? Before you manage their wants, you meet their needs. I always talk about that. You meet their needs and manage their wants. Their wants are what you have to discipline. But if you're meeting their needs, they need to run around. They need to have fun. If you're not providing that, their wants are going to be a real problem for you. Okay, Lisa's truly amazing. Is that me? Thank you so much. I love doing this. I know I seem off today. I'm not. I've just been pushing myself like crazy at the gym, and it hit me today. My legs, I was trying to do sit-ups earlier, and I've never had this at a gym before that I can remember. Anyway, I've been doing it for, this is my 46th year in gyms. And or my first gym I ever joined was 46 years ago. It was 1977, I think. Anyway, I looked down, I was doing sit-ups, and my thighs were quivering. I had pushed myself too far. I thought, wow, and this was like 5 minutes after I finished all my leg work. And so, yeah, that's why I seem tired. I'm just done in. I got to watch myself. I'm old now, right? So as you get older, you got to watch yourself. You can get run down and get sick. I've learned the hard way not to do that. So anyway, that's why I'm all gravelly and I look tired. I'm not really tired. I'm just worn out. My kid has a problem saying no. I need help. My kid has a problem saying no. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. How do I deal with my 3-year-old getting bitten at preschool? You're asking me something I can't help you with. So in other words, how do I help you help the other parent help their kid who's biting, and the daycare workers? That's all other adults in control. It's the daycare workers who are in charge of that. They're very much in charge of keeping your kids physically safe. And so yeah, I would just say, look, my kid's getting bitten, and what can you do about it? I can't help you help them, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Destiny, you've helped me become a better mother. I love that. That's why I'm here. Um, that's why I'm here, because I want you to feel good about yourself. I get hired whenever I'm hired by someone, the first session, they're awfully very intimidated. And they say, not the ones who've been working with me for a while, but they're often very intimidated and they're nervous of telling me what they're doing wrong. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? That's what I'm here for. Life is messy. Parenting's messy. Don't ever feel bad about what you're doing wrong if you're ever talking to me, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make you feel better about making mistakes, because life is messy. We all make mistakes. Who wants to be perfect, right? But then I like to show you a better way to do it. So I'm never going to judge you for what you're doing wrong. I'm going to say, yeah, let's laugh that one off. You know that was bad, but you just didn't know what else to do. So laugh it off. Here's what you do instead. So, but yeah, I'm thrilled when I can help people. I love what I do. And plus, to be able to help people every single day, I get emails telling me how I've helped people. And what a wonderful job, eh? Okay. Um, 2-year-old putting his hands in his pants. How can I correct that? Good luck with that. Do I want to get into that conversation? Because sometimes I get kids on here, so it can be a little bit awkward. But yeah, some kids do, some kids don't, boys and girls. Sometimes they do. They just learn that it's not socially acceptable. I used to tell my kids, or kids I was working with, whatever, that those are your private parts and it's okay to touch them, but it's like picking your nose and going to the bathroom. Everybody does it, but it's private. They're about 3 when they can understand that. Before that, it's a free-for-all, so can't help you much with that. Does that make sense? Amy, I need to know how old you're talking about. A kid who gets really angry when they hear the word no? I don't care how they react to that, by the way. It doesn't mean anything to me really at any age. Like, so what if they don't like hearing the word no? If you know you're being fair and reasonable and they don't like it, that's on them. It's none of your business how they react to that. What I mean by that is it's not your problem. That's up to them. You cannot self-regulate someone else. And why would you want to? You want them to learn how to problem solve. You want them to learn how to regulate their own emotions. They will learn. It happens organically. It's not some of these mini therapy sessions. Discuss all their big emotions and big feelings. What a bunch of garbage. Oh, it's not about therapy. They will learn organically. If you're a fun parent and you know how to discipline the naughty stuff, their emotions just get regulated. They feel very confident. They're happier. They have high self-esteem. Everything, all that good stuff happens organically. You're not there. There's no therapy sessions to get them there. I know it's trendy. I get it. Oh, God, it's my nemesis these days. Okay, he threw a chair at daycare teacher. Yeah. 4 almost 5. Okay, he's too old to be doing that now. What that says to me is just a tell. It just means he doesn't respect you. When they respect their parents, they don't do that anywhere. So work on your own leadership skills. Remember, Past the age of about 3, their behavior is 100% a direct result of our parenting. And it happens everywhere. It doesn't matter where they are, their behavior is still a direct result of your parenting. Work on your parenting skills. I have a whole course on that in the link. It's how to get respect in 5 weeks for 3 to 12-year-olds. That might be good for you. If you want the next level up, you have to hire me for coaching. And if you've just got normal problems, if you've got crisis work, coaching is where you want to go. But the results are way more similar than I thought they would be with the course and with coaching. If you've just got the average normal problems, cheeky kids, you're not a leader, the course is amazingly close to what the results you get with coaching. Way more so than I thought. Like way more so. I was shocked at that. But some people want that, one-on-one stuff. But anyway, so check that out if you're interested. My nephew gets sick when he doesn't get his way. How old is he? Usually they do that up to about the age of 3, so they vomit when they get mad. Yeah, they're going to do that. Just have a vomit bucket ready. Don't give into it, though. I've known lots of kids who do that. Hey, can you answer my question? Have I seen it? They flip through, by the way, and I get dizzy when I go backwards. So if you keep posting the same question, I'll usually get to it. And I haven't got a big number on here right now, so I should get to most questions. If I've got like usually 150 to 200 on, then it gets harder for me. But I've only got like 86 people on here right now, so I should be able to get to them all. How do I stop my 3-year-old from controlling when I try and teach her? How do you stop her from controlling? You don't. You control. You're the leader. So you lead, she will follow. Children instinctively are looking for a leader. If you don't provide that, they're going to try and lead. And it's just they're trying to push you to lead. How do I stop my 3-year-old from controlling? I got too many things I want to say. Every time I get too many things I want to say, I always get tongue-tied. But yeah, she's not. She's 3. How old are you? She's 3. She's tiny. She doesn't want to be in control. She wants you to be in control, guaranteed. Children need, crave, and want leadership. They will act out to get it. And if you're not a leader at home, they're going to be really susceptible to peer pressure, bullying, the drug dealer on the corner, the internet, the Kardashians. They're going to be really susceptible and weak out there on the road because they're going to be looking for other leaders. If you're a leader at home, they're not susceptible to any of that. It's just the way it goes. Night terrors. Yeah, get those sound machines. They're evidently really good for night terrors. Are they night terrors or they're just waking up and they want you? There's a difference. Night terrors are a whole other thing, whole different level. Anyway, yeah, use that sound machine, that one that sounds like the womb. It's so loud. I can't believe how loud that thing is. But yeah, that sounds like woof, like a vacuum, like a heartbeat kind of vacuum sound. And a lot of my clients have got that and said it's fantastic. The kids, it just soothes them. They go to sleep quicker, they stay asleep longer, and they don't get up throughout the night, from what I've heard. And if they do have night terrors, some people just have them, like some adults do have them. So they're just more prone to that. You've never heard the saying, cheeky kids. I'm sure you have. Like, cheeky kids. Okay. 18-month-old from hair pulling. Okay, they don't know what they're doing yet. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They're just going to do stuff. You just restrain them from doing the stuff that they're habitually doing. And you say no. Every time they go for hair, you say no. They'll eventually learn. They don't learn the 50th time. They might learn the 150th time. They learn through repetition, and it's not words, it's actions. These mini therapy sessions, do not tell them how it makes you feel. God, I hate all this stuff. It's just such garbage, all these mini therapy sessions. Well, you know how that makes me feel. Oh my God, that's not for them, that's for you. So just say no and restrain them from pulling your hair, from pulling their hair. Just say no, one word. And then consistent corrective actions is how toddlers learn. Yeah. Thoughts on iPad time at 5 to 7? There is no set. You're asking me for a set time. There is none. So I've actually worked with families. It throws me right off is when I say, well, we can do 24-hour media blackout. And they say, oh, no, we have no screens in the house. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen, often with other countries. And they'll say, no, we don't have any screens in the house. Like, none. They have a phone for work that they don't even use at home. So they don't need screen time. But that's up to you. That's a personal choice. That's like asking me about religion and homeschooling and breastfeeding till they're 5 and co-sleeping. Those are all personal choices, as is screen time. It's a personal choice. There is no perfect way to do that. Okay. How to know it's sibling rivalry or bullying, the younger one, all girls, 1264. When do you intervene? You'd have to hire me to figure that one out. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. There's no, here's what bullying is, here's what sibling rivalry is. There is no, you'd have to hire me to figure that one out. Yeah, go in the bio if you're interested in working with me. But yeah, I'd have to assess the situation. I've learned that from you, and I'm now trying to get my husband to implement that with himself. What was I talking about? Can't remember. Um, okay. How do you discipline a child with destructive disorder who does not listen or care how they act? I mean, you're labeling your child as having there is no such thing as destructive disorder. It's a behavioral title, or it's like ODD. There is no, it's not a medical diagnosis. So they're just a feisty kid, is what you're saying. When you start labeling your children, you're going down a kind of a scary path. You just are. I don't want to get into it right now, but yeah, I wouldn't say a child has destructive disorder. I just wouldn't. You're labeling that child. It's taking some of the onus off of you of taking charge. It's a bit of a scapegoat. Like ODD is a scapegoat for the parents. Yeah, I don't like labeling children. I've worked with hundreds of kids, and I've been handed some pretty impressive files to look through on kids, especially teenagers that I've been mentoring. And I've never opened up one file, not once, not ever. I'm a leader. I don't need to know what's wrong with them. Do you know what I'm saying? I never blame them. I blame myself. If I can't get respect with a kid, I blame myself. So yeah, it's passing the buck onto it's their fault, not yours. You always want to take the blame of their behavior, always. Even when I was mentoring teenagers for 1 hour a week, if they acted out, I took the blame. I thought, what am I doing wrong here? I'm not a good enough mentor for them. I'm not a good enough leader. So yeah, does that make sense? It's like ODD. Do you know what doctors have told me? A lot of my clients are doctors, child psychologists and all that. And they've said to me, ODD was just a terminology made up to make moms feel better about themselves. It's not a diagnosis at all. It's just an acronym to make moms feel better about themselves, to blame the kids instead of looking at themselves. You should always look to yourself. You want to be a leader. I always say it's not about fixing kids. It's about teaching yourself how to be a leader. You lead, they will follow. So yeah. Anyway, I have a bit of a pet peeve about that because I've worked with so many kids with all these labels on them, and I never labeled any of them. Yeah, this one's curious. What age would you let child go alone out on a play date with a friend's house? That's extremely based on the friend. Like, by the time they were 8 or 9 or 10, I would let them go to a school friend's house without me really knowing a lot about the family. Under that, I had to be friends with that parent. I had to know where they were. And I can remember years ago, we had a pool in the backyard. And whenever we'd have a pool party or kids over for pool, the mother who didn't know me would turn up and say, oh, well, I'll just stick around for a while. And I'll say, that's fine. I said, but don't expect to talk to me. All I'm doing is counting heads the entire time. Because if I got kids in my pool, they're going home alive. Like that was so they always ended up leaving. Oh, my kids are okay with her. I wouldn't talk to them. If they wanted to sit and chat with me while the kids were all in the pool, I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm counting heads the whole time. So they'd always leave me. Okay, I'm out of here. But yeah, if a mother would sit and chat when kids are in the pool, I would never leave my kids there. Okay, repeating yourself to your kid instead of giving them a therapy session. Repeating yourself to your kid. I don't know what you mean by that. Might be a really good point. I don't know. So different in Australia. Say screen time bad, and it's all they use schools now, iPads. Well, I raised my kids in Australia. So my kids are Australian, and so am I. I was there for 20 years. A good leader. Okay, what's a good leader? The main goal with parenting for me, I wanted to be best friends with my kids and do nothing but laugh and have fun all day long. I knew in order to do that, I had to get respect first. Mutual. They had to have a voice and they had to respect me. They had to be able to say what they were thinking and they had to respect me. When they felt great about themselves, when kids feel good about themselves around you, they want to please you and they don't act out. Kids who feel good about themselves because of you, you're the source of that, you're the leader, you're guiding them into making good choices. You're not telling them what to do, you're guiding them into making good choices. Their self-esteem is up here and you're the source of that. Would they ever act out around you? No, because why? It would be embarrassing because they look up to you so much. That's the way I look at leadership. It's not the authority, it's not the pleaser parent, which is the trend right now, making life easy for them. They wipe their feet all over you, and that backfires big time down the road because I get those clients every day. I've got to erase all that garbage. Yeah. Leadership to me is about being best friends with your kids, but number one, your parent, and they look up to you, and you treat them with respect. There's the old-fashioned authority style is my way or the highway. I'm the parent, you do what I say because I'm in charge. That backfires in the teen years, but ends up they respect you at the end of that, and they come out okay. The pleaser parent trend, which is so popular right now, the mini therapy sessions, discussing big feelings, giving them participation awards. Can you believe that garbage? Jeez, that drives me nuts. Anyway, just kissing their butt no matter what they do. Their self-esteem is in the toilet. You're raising self-entitled snowflakes with mental health issues, and they wipe their feet all over you and they never appreciate or respect you. That's what you're doing, right? If that's the trend you're in right now, that pleaser parent trend, so popular, it's garbage. I'm the leader. I don't do either one of those. It's more like a sports coach. We're out to have fun in this world and have fun and enjoy each other, but there's rules. And let's say it's a sports coach. Hey, you cheat in the game, you sit on the bench for an inning. Then when you come back in, I'm your biggest cheerleader. So you're always encouraging them to make good choices, and they want to please you. They look up to you. Okay? That's, I would say, the closest relationship I can think of to the way I parented was a popular sports coach who got the best out of kids. They're fun, they get respect, they treat kids great, but there's rules. Hey, you got to run from first to second, third, then home. You can't run from first to third, or else you sit on the inning. You sit on the bench for an inning. You see, the kids are embarrassed when a coach or a good leader has to reprimand them. They're embarrassed. Like if my kids had done anything bad or anything, they would have been embarrassed. They would have gone, "Oh, sorry, Mom. Okay, how about no TV tonight?" I'd say, "Nah, just brush my hair for 5 minutes." So because there's such mutual respect going on there and fun. You want to have fun with your kids. Anyway. My daughter wrote out something. Oh, I was going to look at my phone. I've got a toilet roll here. That's not my phone. It's where I put my AirPod. I put my cords in these toilet rolls. Anyway, I was going to read my phone. So, my daughter wrote out this really cute little blurb about what I do. And it was really, she's so tactful. She's very good at all that stuff. And she's 28. Anyway, she wrote it out and I thought, yeah, that synopsizes the way I look at parenting. It's got to be fun, mutually respectful, and fun. Bring out the best in your kids. Make them feel good about themselves. Timeout makes them feel like crap. That's why I hate timeout. It's humiliating and I think it's mean. Can't stand it. Oh, repeating yourself to your kid instead of giving. I got to figure that one out. I don't kind of understand what you mean. Repeating yourself to your kid instead of giving them a therapy session. So I don't repeat myself or do therapy sessions. I don't do either one of those. I would never repeat myself with kids. If I ask them to do something and it's not done, then there's a consequence. Hey, you forgot to do that, even though I asked you to do it. Oh, sorry. Okay, no TV, or how about I take out the garbage instead or something. What's an alternative to timeout? Everything else I talk about. Everything else. If you go on my behavior board, it's completely free. It teaches you how to discipline with respect, because you're on there too. You're on that behavior board too. Behavior board's free. I've also got courses. I've got a full course, how to get respect in 5 weeks. And also you can hire me for coaching. That's that top level if you want one-on-one help. But I teach you how to get respect. That's all I do on here. I'm just teaching you how to get respect. You got to figure out who you are, and you got to fake it till you make it. By the way, I had so much experience with kids before I had my own. It was easy for me, I admit. It was easy, but I had experience with kids. Plus, I started volunteering in daycare centers. I was 11 years old, and I was volunteering in daycare centers. What 11-year-old does that? Like, I was always interested in figuring kids out. I just found them fascinating. And then the daycare workers used to say, "How do you do that?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, they look up to you, and they would never act out with you, and they want to be around you all the time. I didn't know how to explain that, but I was a leader, and I was a fun leader, and they are too embarrassed to act out with a fun leader. And that's how I parented. They would be embarrassed to act out. Like, my kids never said they hated me or anything. They would have been embarrassed to do that. They just wouldn't have done that. So that's what you want. You want to be a fun leader. But you meet their needs and manage their wants. Their needs are the fun part. That's all just having fun with them. The wants are when they want something and you have to say no. That's when you have to be the calm leader, and you just say, "No, you're not getting that." And then if they act out, then there's a consequence. Anyway, the behavior board teaches you. I never used a behavior board. That's a teaching tool to teach you how to start getting respect. It's a lot more involved than just the behavior board, but it's where you start. It's where I start all my clients. Timeout, try not to do that. Yeah, I hate timeout. Can't stand it. I think it's humiliating. Can you imagine if your boss said to you, "Hey, you made a mistake with these figures here. Go sit in the corner, nose to wall." How would you feel? That's how kids feel. There's no different. They're still humans, right? Think about it. How would you feel if your boss said, "Go sit in the wall, put your nose to the wall," and you think about what you did? How would you feel? What's the difference? I treat kids the way I wanted to be treated. I just think it's horrible. Plus, the therapy sessions. If a police pulls me over for speeding, I don't want a therapy session. Give me a ticket so I can go. I've learned my lesson. You see, I want a consequence. I don't want to be drilled into me discussing everything I did wrong and all that big feelings, big emotions. I hate all that stuff. The lesson is in the consequence, and I won't do it again. So again, the timeout it's humiliating. It's degrading. Can saying no to everything be on the board? Nope, absolutely not. It's too big. You know what that's like saying? Be a good kid. Put that as the rule. It's ridiculous. You pick very specific, actionable things on that behavior board. Like if they hit, you always start with no hitting because you don't want them to hurt themselves or someone else or damage property. You always start with violence. But yeah, you can't say stop being cheeky or something like that. You just can't. It's too broad. It's ridiculous. How would you do that? You know, this is what parents do. They tend to not do anything and then they go in too hard. It's like when you first start dieting, you eat 10,000 calories every day, then you go down to 100 calories a day. You know, you gotta, it's too drastic. You gotta be healthy, and it's just gotta make sense. Yeah, you can't put "don't say no" on the behavior board. Can try it. I couldn't imagine that working. No, it's not timeout, by the way. When they have tantrums and you sit down next to them, are they undone? Is it a type of timeout? No, timeout is when they go over there alone. It's timeout is always done alone. You go over there. It can be we'll take a break together. That's what that is. But should I tell the pool story? It's such a good example of that. Just a sec. God, holding that hurts. I've just worked out so hard at the gym this week. I'm paying for it now. Ugh. Do you know what I find when I work out too hard for too long? My body swells up. I think it hangs on to all the food and liquid I put into it. It's like, what are you doing to me? So I'm all puffy and tired and sore. I'm a mess this morning. So it's just the way my body reacts to that. What was I saying about timeout? Oh, okay. If you want to hear the pool story, just do some likes on there. Everyone who's a regular knows the pool story. It's a good one. If you ignore behaviors, isn't that enabling? How? You're gonna have to explain that. Well, you don't ignore behaviors, you're ignoring a tantrum. A tantrum is not a behavior. It's a lack of control. It's not a behavior. So I'm not ignoring behaviors at all. Never said that ever. Okay. You've asked that recently. Someone else put that in there said recently too. I don't ignore behaviors. How do you stick to a consequence like no iPad for the rest of the day? It's hell. But what you do is if you've got media blackout, you do it with them. And here's how you do it. So they got media blackout. They're mad as anything. They're miserable. As soon as they start to calm down, stop yelling at you, you say, do you want to play a game? No, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Okay. And then walk away. When they calm down again, ready for that game now? You're always trying to connect with them. I don't care if they ever play a game with you. You take the high road. They're watching you. They're not thinking things through so much as they're watching you. And they're like, wow, okay. So I'm not mad. I'm just calm as anything. Oh, you want to go to the park? I hate you. I hate you. Never mind. An hour later, ready for the park now? You see, you're always trying to engage with them. You're taking the high road. You're classy. You're a leader, right? Leaders don't get angry. Well, I got a lot of hearts for that pool story. I'm going to tell the pool story. It's such a good one. And the reason that reminded me of it was the timeout. Timeout is when you send them off on their own to think about what they did. That's the epitome of how timeout's done. Anyway, my son's true story. My son was 8 years old. We had a pool in the backyard. I tell this story almost every single live. Anyway, we had a pool in the backyard, and it was his 8th birthday party. So he invited 5 friends over, and my husband at the time took our daughter out somewhere else. So it was me and 6 8-year-old boys in the backyard. So I'm a safety net. So all I was doing was counting heads the whole time. So I said to them, Whaley is over there. It cannot come in the pool. Whaley was a giant blow-up toy. I didn't want to take the air out because I don't have a pump. I had to blow it up, just using my lungs. So I didn't want to take the air out. I just put him off to the side. Now they're 8 years old. They can understand this. So Whaley cannot go in the pool because I can't see behind him. I could lose 3 kids behind Whaley. Sure enough, one of the kids took Whaley in the pool. Now I said to him, Whaley out of the pool now. And he said to me, no. My son went like this. He knew Mom knows how to take care of business. Fully clothed, I was in the pool and I had that kid out sitting beside me like that. And I said, okay, you're going to sit beside me for 10 minutes now. So I'm counting 5 heads in the pool now, and he's sitting beside me, all like he was shocked I grabbed him out of the pool. And then I start talking to him. Oh, I saw you at the soccer game the other day. You got a really good goal. Well, remember the other day I helped you with the test? Turns out you got like a B on that test. Good for you. And what games do you like to play in the play? Talking. 10 minutes is up. I said, okay, you can go back in the pool again. He wouldn't shut up. He kept talking to me. He was having a great time chatting with me, okay? Anyway, so then I couldn't get rid of him. Finally, I said, okay, look, all the kids miss you. They're going to play basketball now. And so he finally goes back in the pool and has a great time. The rest of that party, he couldn't do enough for me. Can I help you with the cake? And I couldn't get rid of this kid. He was all over me. Okay, so what I had done was I'd already said the expectation, the rule was Whaley stays out there. When he broke that rule, that's a safety issue. I did not say, can you please take Whaley out of the pool? Remember I asked you, like, what a loser, eh? I just said, Whaley out of the pool now. And he said no to me. That was my cue. Like that, I take action. This is a safety issue. I had him sitting beside me and I told him very clearly, and why did I not say, you're sitting beside me because you took Whaley in the pool? Because the kid's not a moron. He knows exactly why he's sitting beside me. I don't go on like a loser about everything. Like we all know why he's sitting there. Plus, I don't want to humiliate him in front of everybody. I don't like to go on about what he just did. He already knows. I've already punished him. It's done. That's it. So he's sitting beside me. Then I start talking about all the good stuff about him. I'm building respect and a relationship, and I'm making him feel good about himself. I'm not dwelling on the bad kid. I dwell on the good kid. I bring out the good. I don't dwell on the bad. I deal with the bad behavior because I do not ignore bad behavior at all. I deal with it, but then I focus on the good kid. Okay? He felt great about himself. He didn't even want to leave me after that. Then I said, go back in the pool. Why did I not say, and don't bring Whaley in the pool again? Because that would have been bitchy. You're so rotten that I'm going to have to remind you not to bring Whaley in the pool. I wouldn't do that to him. I just bonded with him. We're buddies now. I'm the leader. He respects me. Why would I remind him of what rotten thing he did? That would just be bullying. Wouldn't that be snotty, right? So I said, go back, have fun, have fun. Great. He was perfect for me the rest of the day. His mom comes to pick him up and he's rotten with her. So he was great with me. That's leadership. That's how I do it. You build them up. You deal with the bad behavior like that. Don't go on about it. And then you build up the relationship. That's the epitome of everything I teach. That pool story has pretty much every lesson in there. Does that make sense? Why on earth would I give him a therapy session about what he shouldn't have done? How nasty is that? That's bullying. You know you shouldn't have put, I told you not to bring Whaley in the pool. You should, would you do that again? You see, nobody else did it. All that kind of stuff. God, I hate that. It's so nasty. Plus, where's the relationship? I want him to feel good about himself. When they feel good about themselves as a result of your behavior towards them, your relationship, they're like this, they want to please you. All of a sudden, you're the leader. I could just go like that. He would have done whatever I said. I wouldn't abuse that situation. You got to be careful with that too. Once you get that leadership role with kids, you got to respect that. But anyway, so that's my absolute favorite story to explain the way I look at how you treat children. You deal with the bad behavior, then you bring out the good in them. Show them how to be good. Bring out the best in them. Make them feel great about themselves. Then you're the cause of that. Then they want to please you. Like the mom, when she picked him up, you know what she said to him? Were you good? Or something. She said something as soon as she picked him up. What did you do? What did he do wrong? Like she instantly, his whole definition and his whole persona was he's a rotten kid. Anyway, it was terrible. The swing one. Yeah, the swing one's a good one. The swing story. I tell that all the time too. That's younger children. But does that make sense? Saying no to a 2-year-old, not effective? What are you talking about? Okay. Whatever. Okay. How do you make rules but not be a helicopter mom? I don't want to. Okay. When you're a really good leader, children make good decisions. They already know right from wrong and they just tend to choose right. It's just the way it goes. That's never about them. It's about you. When you're a good leader with children, I've worked with hundreds of kids. When you're a good leader, they want to please you. And when they're teenagers, they just don't want to disappoint you. I have lots of stories I tell in coaching that I can't tell here because they're more personal with kids I've worked with. I never name names, obviously, but a lot of, and plus I got kids on here and some of them are, a little bit more edgy. But once they look up to you and they trust you, you've got them in the palm of your hands. They're going to do anything for you. And that power is, boy, you got to be careful with that, because once you've got that leadership role cemented, they are extremely susceptible to anything you say or do with them because they look up to you so much. You got to really respect them. Once you get that, you've got to respect them too. It's a mutual thing. Once they look up to you, you've got that leadership role. You better be careful how you treat those kids. Like I never yell or anything because that's abusive. Like that's the way they take it. Especially when you get up to that level and they really look up to you. I yelled once. My son was 12 and it was with him. He dropped the garbage all over the floor. Poor kid was trying to take the garbage out. He picked it up by the lid, not the bins, went all over the floor. And I said, damn it, what a stupid thing to do. And I kind of yelled it. Not really. I don't really have a big temper or anything. And he was 12 and his lips went white. He went pure white and just went in his room and shut the door. I'd never yelled before. He'd never heard me yell because I respected him. I respected my kids because I had that leadership role. So what I said mattered to them, right? And I'd never treated him like that before. And I thought, what is wrong with me? I don't know. I blamed my period or who cares? There's no excuse for that. I went in his room and I apologized profusely and I bought him a new PlayStation game for $80. So the joke was after that, every time he'd take the garbage out, he'd go like this, whoa, 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 whoa. But he said for years after that, that was the most traumatizing thing he's ever been through, was that I yelled at him. And it wasn't even that big. Like I said the word damn it. He'd never heard me curse before. And it was in an up, so anyway, you got to respect them. It's a mutual thing. But yeah, so we got a free PlayStation game out of that one. Well, if your kids are saying no to you all the time, why does that bother you so much? I never understand that. Like when a kid says no to me, I'm like, fine. Like I don't care if they say no to me. Does that make any sense? Yeah, you're going to have to give me a very specific situation where they say no, and I'll tell you exactly how I react. They say no to me, I don't care. Like, what difference does it make? Why do parents yell? It's bullish. Okay, the reason why they yell, 99.99999% of my clients yell. And I always say the reason you yell is you just don't know what else to do. The odd time I'll get parents, sometimes I'll even get both parents who do not yell. It's like I don't even know what to do with them. It's so rare that I get that. The reason I didn't yell is because I knew what else to do. Because I had tons of experience before I had my own kids. I already worked with other kids and all that. So yeah, most parents do yell because it works. By the way, it works in the moment and it works for a short term. It backfires big time down the road. So yeah, most parents yell. It's very rare if I get a client who doesn't. If I get a client who says they don't yell, it throws me off. I literally go, oh, okay. It throws me off. It's that rare that parents don't yell. So yeah, most parents yell. It's the go-to. Plus, most parents were yelled at. I was never yelled at. Like my parents never once ever yelled at me. And the only time I ever yelled at and it wasn't even that big a deal. It was, damn it, what a stupid thing to do. It was like the worst thing I ever said to him. And he was 12, but it was just, I just let it fly. And that was the only time I ever did it. Oh, how do you survive toddlerhood? It's my least favorite age. Cute as a button, but they're all feet, no brains. They were just a safety, a danger waiting to happen. So what I did was 3 things that I recommend you do when you got toddlers. Number 1, what I did was I completely childproofed my whole house. So I never even had to watch them. I never had to say no to them because the whole house was completely childproof. It looked ridiculous from the waist down and great from the waist up. All the plants were up there and pictures, and then the waist down, there was nothing for them to get into. The number 2 thing I did was I did a toy rotation system. I'm more of a very organized minimalist anyway, but I still rotated their toys. So they were never bored. I was always rotating their toys around. So every week we'd do a toy rotation and they had all this new stuff again. They'd seen it before, but they play with it like it was new. So I did that. Plus, when I played with my kids, I didn't sit and watch them and clap. I got on the ground with them. I rolled around at the park with them. So the more you enter their world, the more likely you are to build that bond with them, and they're more likely to listen to you as they get older. They're watching you more carefully. The more they know that you've entered their world, there's a different connection that goes on there. So yeah, those are 3 things: childproof, toy rotation, and play with them in their world as if you were them. Find your inner toddler. This is the mini therapy sessions. You're asking little children to find their inner adult. It is so patronizing. It drives me nuts. Use your words. If I hear that one more time, I'm just going to lose it. I hate that. It's so patronizing. They are using their words. They do know how to communicate. Absolutely perfect for their age they're at. What that is it's so me, 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 me. We're going to relate on me, 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 my terms. Use your words. Find your inner adult. Find what, it's just so disrespectful to a little one. The reason it makes me so mad is because it's so trendy right now. That's what I have to work with. Every time I get a client who's done all that because they've been following all the trends, and then I have to erase all that. Oh, by the way, if your daycare is using that or anywhere else, I don't care. It's none of your business. They do what works for them. They're a daycare. By the way, that's not parenting. A huge portion of my clients have child development degrees. They are teachers, social workers, school counselors, principals, child psychologists. They have child development degrees and they still hire me because parenting is different. You can't compare it to any of those other things. It's different. So I would never tell a teacher how to teach. I wouldn't have a clue how to do it. I never tell a child psychologist how to child psychology. I don't know how to do it. I teach parenting. It's different. It's personal. Nothing is more personal than parenting. So yeah, I would never, ever interfere in a daycare center and what they're doing. By the way, schools and daycare centers and all that, they work really well with reward charts. They work very well in institutions. I hate reward charts at home with parenting. I can't stand them. I think they're horrible. But they work wonderfully in schools. Institution, home life, different, different, different. That's like so many parents expect schools to parent. Institution, home, different, different. Totally different relationship. Okay. How to reduce screen time? Get a media management system in place. What I would suggest you do, let's say for an example, you allow your children to have 10 hours a week of screen time. What you do is you break that down into minutes. So you have a chart, 600 little squares. Okay, use graph paper, whatever. 600 little squares or whatever. You put that up. You can generate all that stuff online. Anyway, and then every time 35 minutes, 35 little squares are gone. If they use that up before the week's over, they get no more screen time. It teaches them how to manage themselves. It gives them more independence, gives them more pride. It just sort of is, it's just building their sense of responsibility. Plus, you're not micromanaging, but a leader sets up systems for other people to follow and to make them succeed on their own. You don't want to be micromanaging your children. You don't want to be telling them what to do. Set up systems. Media management and allowance are two of the best things for that. Yeah, my kids are 33 and 28. A lot of people ask about them. I don't talk about my kids as adults because they don't choose to be on here. They have their own lives. The only thing I'll tell you about them is my son's expecting his first child this year. So I'm very excited about being a grandma. But yeah, they both said growing up and throughout the years, they both said they're going to try and parent the way I raised them. They felt very heard, very respected, and we had a ton of fun. And so yeah, they're nice people. They're, they're happy. So that's all I say. I don't talk about them as adults because it's not their choice to be on here. How do you make them feel good about themselves within fits? How do I explain this? You don't. Like, if they're having a fit, a tantrum, a scene, a meltdown, you're ignoring that. So I don't want to go on about, I could go on a whole spiel about that. You're a pleaser parent, aren't you? You want to make everything easy. You want to make everything, you're trying to fix everything. You don't. At some point, you just have to cut yourself off and allow them to process stuff. If they're having a tantrum, that's none of your business. Let them learn how to process that on their own. You're just right there. You're ignoring them, but they know you're right there. But you ignore the crazy. A fit is the crazy. It's not a behavior. It's a loss of control because they didn't get their own way. I would never address that. Ever, ever, ever. They're right there. I should tell the story, the swing story or the mall story about tantrums. Which one? Which one do I feel like telling? I tell them so often, I can't even hear myself saying them anymore. I'll do the mall story. Okay. My son was 3, and it was the second to last tantrum. We were in a very busy, loud mall. If it was quiet in a restaurant, I would have taken him to the parking lot because I would not do this to other people. He decided to have a fit over nothing. We weren't even talking or doing anything. We were just walking. And so I pulled him away up. There were stairs right there. So I pulled him away from the stairs, put him up against a store window, and I pulled out my nail file. We were just standing there filing my nails. He knew the drill, and he knew there's no way I would look at him or talk to him during a tantrum. No way. You never attention is tantrum food. It's reward. So I'm just waiting. I reward the calm, not the crazy. So he's in the crazy zone right now. So I'm just like this, filing my nails. All these young moms were walking past. Oh, you should give him a hug. Talk about his feelings. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, keep going, keep going. So anyway, why would you take financial advice from someone with $10 in the bank? Why would you take parenting advice from someone who only has toddlers? Like, how do they know what they're talking about? Anyway, so because they haven't got experience. But anyway, all these older moms and grandmothers kept coming up to me. Good on you. You know what you're doing. I'm like, yeah, I do. So you want to take advice from somebody who knows what they're talking about. Anyway, my son's tantrum kind of lost steam, and because he really wasn't getting any attention, it wasn't working. So he just got up and I said, oh, you all done? Okay, let's go. We just walked off. That was the end of it. You do not give that any attention. You do not feed that. It's not worthy of being fed. It's just, he's just lost his nut for a little while. They eventually learn. When you get good at ignoring tantrums, but you don't talk on your phone or anything, that's dismissive and rude, but you're right there filing my nails, and he knows I know he's doing that, by the way. He's very aware that I know he's doing it, but I do not reward that. So the better you get at ignoring tantrums, they lessen in, what is it? Duration, frequency, and intensity. It's always the word duration I get caught on. Someone told me about that. It's duration is the word you're looking for, Lisa. The length of time they have the tantrum. So the better you get it, they just sort of disappear because they're not working. Kids eventually only do what works. If tantrums never work, they never get any attention before, during, or after, they just stop doing them. Why would they keep doing what doesn't work? They're not that dumb. We do. We keep doing the same thing repeatedly that doesn't get any results, and we keep expecting to get results. Adults are dumber that way. Kids aren't. They only do what works. So yeah, he felt just fine about himself. And people say, well, if you're not, I don't even want to talk about it. It's so dumb. All this, well, what about validating all his feelings and all his emotions? Oh, God. Do you want me to go on about that? I get angry every time I talk about it because I'm up against this. This is my nemesis. And people who are attacking me all the time on TikTok over ignoring tantrums, they're all the pleaser parents. And yeah, they are my fuel for staying on here because I want to fix them. And sometimes some of them will even come to me and hire me. They'll say, I was that one who told you were an idiot for ignoring tantrums, and then they'll hire me once they realize it's not working. Feeding tantrums, discussing all their big feelings, and that during a fit and a tantrum is just a disaster. Okay. By the way, I just want to mention this just to let you know how much I appreciate you spending time listening to me, because I've only been on here for 18 months, and last Sunday, I hit 550,000 followers. And I do not take that for granted. You know, you spend your precious time listening to me yabber on about this, but that just means I'm giving you something. That means I'm providing you with some value and I'm helping you. That's what that says to me. That's why I keep turning up. I don't do this for me. I do it because I want you to enjoy parenting as much as I did. I want you to find it fun and easy, and I want you to go right through the teen years like I did, sail right through it. That's my goal for each and every one of you. And you do that by being a really good leader for your children. You want to have fun with them. You don't want to be disciplining all the time. Get that mutual respect cemented as soon as possible, then you can just relax and enjoy. But getting respect is hard work. You got to work for that. You got to earn that. Once you get it, maintaining it's a piece of cake. Okay? Getting it is hard work, though. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's not like dieting. Losing weight's easier than maintaining it for years. This is easy. This is, you get respect, mutual respect, then you just get it. You get how to be a leader, and then maintaining it's easy. Lots of people hire me and keep me sort of on a retainer. I've been doing this for 17 years now, and they'll talk to me every year or every month or every 6 months because different things come up that they don't know how to deal with. Maybe their kid's getting bullied. Maybe some online creep has come after them or something, or they start to do drugs or something throughout the years. Stuff can come up. But yeah, but generally they say, yeah, I get it. Once you're a leader, everything sort of gets easier. You just sort of get it. So, okay. Okay, there's two reasons for this, but I don't know which one it is. It's from Heather. My daughter more recently is becoming inconsolable, repels any comfort, closeness for. Okay, so she's 4 years old, and either you're not a leader and she doesn't feel safe with you, or something's happened. Don't worry, it might not be anything big. It can be something really little, but it's very upsetting to her. So something might have happened at school or something like that, or a friend or something. Something's either happened, or else you're just not a leader and she doesn't feel safe with you. They always feel safe with a leader. And their emotions are very regulated. When they've got a leader, they just have a sense of confidence and calm when you're a good leader, because they have a safe place to land. So that's what that says to me. So work on your leadership skills. I do have a whole course on that. It's in my link above there. Teaches you how to get respect in 5 weeks by being a leader. Anyway, I got to get going. So no questions on YouTube. I film these on YouTube, but my audience is really on TikTok. So anyway, I've got to get going. Thanks so much for watching me. I should be better tomorrow. I've just been working out too hard lately, and I'm just done myself in. That's why I'm all gravelly. Anyway, thanks so much, and you're very welcome, Kat. Oh, you've been here lots. Anyway, thanks so much, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye now.